Hey Internet, I'm back, and I'm talking about another movie, because apparently I just don't play video games anymore. But this one is video game adjacent, because this movie, although not really, is basically Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie, of course, is Willie's Wonderland, a new movie kind of starring Nicolas Cage. I say kind of because while he is the star of the movie, he went full-on Sphinx from Gone in 60 Seconds, and then he doesn't talk. And unlike Silent Bob or Sphinx, he doesn't get a line or a quip in toward the end to kind of flip the character. He actually remains silent throughout the entire movie. And now, before I go any further, I will say I unironically enjoy Nicolas Cage. I really genuinely do. Con Air is one of my favorite action movies. All of a sudden, I'm drawing a blank as to other things that he's in. Ghost Rider, I actually enjoyed the first one. The second one, we can all agree, is trash. The first one I thought was good. National Treasure's good. He's done a lot of great movies. He really, really has. So, I did not come into this expecting it to be a bad movie. And honestly, despite it being about 5 years too late for it to be relevant, because Five Nights at Freddy's isn't really a thing anymore, it was a good movie. Not a great movie, but a good movie. First of all, like I said, it stars Nicolas Cage, who does not speak, and that was probably most of the movie's budget. That and also a few seconds of Free Bird at the end. But other than that, it was definitely an indie movie. The acting from the other people was anywhere from not great to passable. Unfortunately, the person that was the worst actor got the second most screen time, and that's the girl in the movie whose name I honestly don't remember because it doesn't matter. She was not good. She basically existed to give exposition, and her delivery was just bad. She didn't have emotion. Like, even at one point she walks into a room where a bunch of her friends have just died, and she acknowledges that they died, and that's about all the emotion you get. She sees that they're there, and then she sees the killer robot that killed them, and then she watches a guy kill the killer robot, and she has no reaction, no facial expression, no animation at all. These things happen in front of her, but she may as well be one of the robots because nothing happens in here. So her acting's not great. Surprisingly, most of the other teenagers were pretty good. The one specifically that I really enjoyed was the one black teenager whose girlfriend existed. At one point, he's calling out how stupid it is that they all want to rush in to save Nicolas Cage's character, and that they're going toward the haunted house where the evil things are instead of just running away, and that they're not just burning the whole damn building down. He makes a lot of points and just, calls out all the stuff that people usually do in horror movies and how stupid it is. Of course, he then turns around and splits off from the group to go off with his girlfriend and have sex in this haunted, horrible building full of serial killer animatronic things. So, kind of goes against his own advice. And then dies. So, I guess, moral of the story, follow your gut. Also, speaking of those two and their scene, I don't know why movies have to do the Cinemax close-on sex thing. It's just really dumb. If you don't want to have sex in your movie, fine. Not every movie needs to have sex. A majority of them don't, to be honest. But if you're going to include it, it's just play with shadows. Have silhouettes. Or have them under a sheet. Anything other than just clothes-on dry humping. Because it looks so stupid. Like, most people aren't looking at that and saying, oh, they're clearly having sex. They're looking at it going, no one's never had sex like that, with all their clothes on. Like, it just looks so dumb. It really, really does. I hate movies do that, because it's just not realistic, and it's just immersion-breaking and stupid. Speaking of things that are stupid, early on in the movie, the exposition girl wants all her teenage friends to come burn down this building with her, and that's her goal, burn down the building. And they're all like, yeah, let's go burn this down, this would be cool, let's burn it down. And then she's like, no, you stop. We need to burn it down with purpose. You can't have fun, you can't enjoy this, we need to burn it down because. That's really stupid. If people are going along with what you want them to do, and they're going to help you accomplish your goal, their reasons really don't matter. Just saying. If they're going to get you to where you need to be and help you do the thing you want to do, go with it. It really doesn't matter if they're having fun or not. Just allow them to help you do the thing. But let me rewind a bit, because I've jumped into examples and didn't explain enough. Basically, the story here is, because I'm going to get to the story now, is that we're in an old Chuck E. Cheese, or Five Nights at Freddy's, or whatever you want to call this place. Chuck E. Cheese is what it was before Five Nights came out. Basically, it's a kids' play place slash pizza place slash arcade that also has giant animatronic singing robot mascot things. And this Chuck E. Cheese type place was run by a serial killer and all his creepy, also killer, possibly pedo-ish friends. They ran this place, and they would trick families into coming into a super happy fun room and would then murder them or do whatever other questionable stuff they did. And when the cops came to shut this down, they went all ade do a dumbala and transferred their souls into the animatronic robots. That's the thing that happened. That's the story. And so the town decides, hey, let's not just let these people kill the townsfolk. Let's trick visitors to the town into coming to this building, and we'll feed them to the robots. And that way they'll spare the rest of the town. So morally in the red, but it's a plot. It works. It's a thing, and it moves the story forward. I'm fine with that. The problem is there's a few things they do for a plot reason, but they don't make sense in the movie itself. For example, the dude locks in Nicolas Cage. I know why he does that, and as you're watching, you understand that, oh, he's the bad guy. He's locking him in there. But I don't know why Nicolas Cage's character would be okay with this. Although, really, that raises some interesting questions, too, that they never explain, is that his character... Yeah, just his character and then a question mark. He's very studious about the breaks he's allotted. He doesn't talk, like I mentioned. They never explain why. And when he realizes that door is locked, he just kind of resigns himself to that fact and goes about his business. He even continues cleaning the building even after he's attacked by these robots, and even cleans up the messes that are the dead robots. It's odd. Like, it somehow fits, and you're questioning why it works, but at the same time, you keep watching because you're like, yeah, okay, that seems to be what's happening. So, I can't really fault it for being wrong. It's weird, but I can't necessarily say it's wrong. And don't get me wrong, there's some stuff in here I really liked. For example, the Watchmen quote, or at least a play on the Watchmen quote, that was really cool. Because, in real life, that's how people interact. In movies, people never quote other movies, unless it's one made by the same studio, which is annoying when they do that. But here, you know, having her exposition girl do the whole Rorschach quote of "You're not locked in here with me," or whatever the quote is, because I just said it wrong. It's the other way around, but you know what I mean. That it was cool to hear her do that. And at one point, two people are talking, and they just say McDonald's in reference to a hamburger, which it's a ubiquitous name. It's something we all know. It's part of everyone's everyday vernacular. We all just, oh, McDonald's hamburger. It's, you know, it's synonymous with fast food. So to have people talk like that and throw out these references and say these brands and things like that, it fits. It makes the dialogue feel more natural and more real and more authentic, and I love that. So definitely kudos to this movie for that. Also, while this was an indie, low-budget movie, I'm pretty sure, aside from getting Nicolas Cage in it and having that one sweet Camaro, the effects were actually pretty good. The animatronic monster robot things were just rubber suits. I don't think at any point they actually had real animatronics. I think they were just kind of stand-ins when they weren't moving, and then people in a monster suit when they were. But just the way they did the effects was really awesome. The first time you see them move, they're just looming in the background, and they're slightly all moving in the shadow, and it's really, really cool looking. And then when they're in the oversized vent, which It's a whole nother rant. Every movie does it. I don't know why. It's so stupid. That's not what vents are like, but just whatever. If I'm going to complain about that, then I also have to complain about Die Hard and Mission Impossible and everything else. So they're in this vent, and one of the animatronics just comes around the corner. But they do it really fast, and they cut out every couple frames, which is a trick I learned from the editor of the movie I'm in. And the way it just kind of makes the action faster, and it jumps, and he basically is just not on screen and then is. It looks really cool. It works really well. It creates a really nice effect. So the movie, visually and effects-wise, is really good. And the action and the fight scenes, as ridiculous as they are really well done. They are overly cut. There's a lot of, Marvel action going on where every punch is a new take. But the way they're cut together does look pretty good. It seems to fit the music, and the flow of the action is always steady. And a lot of the punches, when they land, you see sparks come out of the robot and things like that. The effects look great. The choreography, while very amateur, is still very well done. And I'm sure a big part of that is due to the fact that Nicolas Cage is no stranger to action movies and is able to do these kinds of things. So that definitely was nice. Also, they had a really cool audio effect for the robots, where a lot of them, when they would talk, their voice would kind of echo or trail in the background, or it would skip a little. It just had this very creepy machine sound to it. It was really well done. It was a really nice effect. You get it a lot with the gorilla in the bathroom scene. I definitely loved that effect. That just, audio-wise, that was really cool and really well done. And really, that's about it. There's a little bit of good, a little bit of bad. Some stuff that didn't make total sense. Exposition girl, at one point, the sheriff is locking her in a trailer. We'll pretend that's normal somehow. And the sheriff says, "You know the drill," and then handcuffs the girl onto a pipe, which she A, seems surprised about, and B, then says, "Well, how am I supposed to eat? How am I supposed to pee?" Okay, well, then does she know the drill or does she not? These questions make me think she doesn't. So what was that exchange a second ago where you said, "You know the drill"? Little things like that are just dumb. They're continuity errors. But overall, I think it was a net positive. I think the effects were really good. I think the acting was at least okay, and at times pretty great. Freebird showing up at the end was a pretty nice touch. And the story, while maybe not the most original, especially because it is kind of Five Nights at Freddy's, and every other review you're seeing online is saying that too, it's original enough. It's different, it's new. I haven't seen a ton of movies doing the same premise, so I enjoyed it. I honestly thought it was a good movie. I wouldn't rate it like super high. Like, it's not perfect, it's not amazing, it's not my favorite movie, but if you've got nothing else to watch, and let's face it, we're all in lockdown, we've all watched everything that's online, so you have nothing else to watch, I'd say give this one a go. It's interesting at least, it'll entertain you, and give you something fun to talk about for a bit. And that's pretty much it for me. I actually do have a game review on the way. I swear I am working on one. I'm not just ignoring video games forever. I just haven't filmed the one I want to do yet, and all the ones I have filmed just didn't come out great, and I'm not going to use them. So stick around and you'll get that video, and in the meantime, who knows, apparently I might just talk about movies every night. We'll see.